Okay, it's 5:30. Good evening, everyone. Before we have our regular city council meeting, we are going to have a Board of Health meeting. But before we start the Board of Health meeting, would everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Pope, Councilmember Rowe,
Here.
Councilmember Galloway, Councilmember McIntyre,
Here.
Councilmember Hull,
Here.
Mayor Johnson.
Here.
Approve the minutes from meeting number 5 on July 5th, 2022 as presented. Recommendation, approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second. Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
This is the time, place, and date set to consider condemnation of the structures on the property located at 115 South Adela in the city of Ottumwa, Wapello County, Iowa.
I'll go ahead and open the hearing, and Jake, I believe you're going to present.
Thank you, Council. The structure located at 115 South Adela was placarded November 19th, 2020. The property was placarded for no utilities, exterior conditions, and squatters. The owners of the property on record have never reached out to our department and have never showed any for any of the inspections. A search warrant was executed on the house and it was deemed unfit and is in a state of disrepair. No progress has been made on the house and it continues to deteriorate. The city has had to mow the property this year. There's no current repair plan or permission, and condemnation notice was served by certified mail and posting notice on the property and in the Ottumwa Courier. The staff recommendation that we condemn this structure and order a prompt demolition, removal, and leveling of the lot, and direct all the costs attended to such actions, including administrative costs, to be assessed against the property and or collected from the owner or owners thereof.
Does council have any questions for Jake? If not, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second. Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
Condemn the structures located at 115 South Adela, order prompt demolition, removal, and leveling of the lot, and direct all costs attendant to such actions, including administrative cost, to be assessed against the property and or collected from the owner or owners thereof. Recommendation, approve the condemnation of the structures located at 115 South Adela.
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second. Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
This is the time, place, and date set to consider condemnation of the structures on the property located at 1019 West 3rd Street in the city of Ottumwa, Wapello County, Iowa.
I'll go ahead and open the public hearing, and Jake's going to present on this as well.
Thank you, Mayor. This structure is located at 1019 West 3rd and was placarded on May 6, 2021. The property was placarded for no utilities and poor living conditions. There were many missed progress inspections, and the property was open to the elements and to squatters during the duration of the file. The garage and the side of the house caught fire this year, and no progress has been made, and the house continues to deteriorate. There's no current repair plan or permission. Condemnation notice was served by certified mail and by posting notice on the property and in the Ottumwa Courier, and the staff recommends that we condemn the structure at 1019 West 3rd and order prompt demolition, removal, and leveling of the lot, and direct all costs attended to such actions, including administrative costs, to be assessed against the property.
Does council have any questions for Jake regarding this property? If not, would someone like to make a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
Condemn the structures located at 1019 West 3rd Street, order prompt demolition, removal, and leveling of the lot, and direct all costs attendant to such actions, including administrative costs, to be assessed against the property and or collected from the owner or owners thereof. Recommendation, approve the condemnation of the structures located at 1019 West 3rd Street.
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
This is the time, place, and date set to consider condemnation of the structures on the property located at 510 North Court Street in the city of Ottumwa, Wapello County, Iowa.
I'll open the public hearing, and I believe Jake's going to present on this as well.
Thank you, Mayor. The structure located at 510 North Court was placarded March 16, 2022. The property was placarded for severe structure damage. The owner has not showed any effort to repair this property since in October of 2021, when a deficiency list was made during an inspection. This house continues to deteriorate and is vacant. There's no current repair plan or permission. The condemnation notice was served by certified mail, posting notice on the house and in the Ottumwa Courier. The staff recommends that the structure at 510 North Court be demoed, removed, and the lot leveled, and direct all the costs to the attendant to such actions to the property or to the property owners.
Does council have any questions for Jake regarding this property? If not, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
Councilmember Hull?
Yes.
Condemn the structures located at 510 North Court Street, order prompt demolition, removal, and leveling of the lot, and direct all costs attendant to such actions, including administrative cost, to be assessed against the property and/or collected from the owner or owners thereof. Recommendation: approve the condemnation of the structures located at 510 North Court Street.
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
Councilmember Hull?
Yes.
Since this concludes the business of the Board of Health, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
I just want to just give a quick update.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I was just going to mention that as with these properties here, that brings our total number of condemnations to 23 this year. And I think that's quite a feat for our department. And I wanted to give a thanks to our building inspectors and our clerks, our nuisance inspectors, and everybody that's been working really hard this year. In the 6.5 years I've been here, that's a bigger number than I've ever seen. So I think it's a lot of work and it's pretty thankless. So I
Well,
appreciate what they do.
I'd like to personally thank you and Zach and the whole department because we really do need to continue to work aggressively on condemning properties that are beyond rehabilitation because it really helps improve the looks of our community, and it also makes future lots available for new housing to be built. So kudos to you and your staff for a job well done this year.
There's more coming down the pipeline. And like you said, I'm proud of our staff for what we're doing, not only to take the houses out, but also to replace them. We're working on some good things in that aspect as well. So
There's a lot of positive things happening with housing in Ottumwa. I totally concur with that. So thank you, Jake.
Hey, Zach, Jake, one of the two. Does that, Zach, whatever. Does that still, with the 23 that we've condemned this year, does that still leave us over 100 houses that are placarded in the community?
it does.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, we have more coming towards condemnation, but unfortunately, when one falls off, it seems that two come on. But
Right.
we're working on it. So
Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
And I think it is important for the public to understand that those condemnation proceedings do take a lot of time to do all the legal notifications and stuff. It's not a quick thing to get through those, but if you continue to work on them, we'll eventually get them done.
That's another thanks. I think that the community for the most really works with us well. They understand that it's a process and they give us some time, and I appreciate that from them as well.
Thanks. Okay, is there any other business for the Board of Health? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the Board of Health meeting.
So moved. Second.
Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
Councilmember Hull?
Yes.
Okay, it's 5:40, so I'm going to call the Ottumwa City Council meeting to order, and we've already done the Pledge of Allegiance, so we'll move to the roll call.
Councilmember Pope? Councilmember Rowe?
Here.
Councilmember Galloway? Councilmember McIntyre?
Here.
Councilmember Hull?
Here.
Mayor Johnson?
Here. The next thing on the agenda is to approve our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve today's consent agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with removal of H3 and H4 for later
That'll be during the
That's the
regular.
regular agenda. This is the
Oh,
consent agenda.
sorry. Oh, sorry, yeah. Make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Okay, Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
Now we're going to approve tonight's agenda for the council meeting. Do we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Make the motion to approve the agenda with removal of H3 and H4 to discuss later.
Is there a second?
Second.
Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes. Just trying to skip ahead a little bit. Can we get questions?
City Administrator Rath indicated he didn't really have an administrator's report tonight to share. He'll do that at the next council meeting, so we'll keep moving forward with the agenda. The next item is to ask if we have any citizens present who want to comment on any of the agenda items tonight that's on tonight's agenda. Okay. We have no departmental recommendations or reports. We have no public hearings tonight, believe it or not. So we'll move into resolutions.
Resolution number 221, 2022, approving change order number 1 and accepting the work as final and complete and approving the final pay request for the 422 runway rehabilitation project at the Ottumwa Regional Airport. Recommendation: pass and adopt resolution number 221, 2022.
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second. Chris will take the roll. Oh, wait, no, sorry. JD, you have to talk first.
We do a little bit. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Struck and Irwin Paving of DeForest, Wisconsin was awarded the contract for the 0422 runway rehabilitation project on May 4th, 2021 in the amount of $319,084.37. Change order number 1 will increase the contract by $11,409.81. This is due to the fact that last year, they was planning on doing this project at this time last year. COVID struck their workers that they had that was going to be on this project, and they couldn't get it done till this spring. By the time this spring rolled around with the freezing and the frost and everything, we had more cracks and more heaving in the runway, which increased what materials they were going to need, and that's the cost for the change order. The work has been completed, and final payment reimbursement to the city on this will be 100% from the FAA with zero cost to the airport fund balance. The total project cost now is $330,494.18.
Does council have any questions for JD? Okay. You going to go ahead and do the recommendation?
You want me to go ahead and take roll?
Yes.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
Resolution number 224, 2022, awarding the contract for water pollution control facility operations roof replacement project to Foreshore Roofing and Sheet Metal LLC of Des Moines, Iowa, in the amount of $163,953. Recommendation: pass and adopt resolution number 224, 2022.
Larry, I believe you're going to present on this.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This project involves removing the existing roofing membrane system and designated mechanical equipment. New recovery board will be installed over the existing insulation by mechanically fastening and installing a 2-ply fire-resistant SBS modified Bentman roofing system with granulated surface cap sheet. Approximately 4,000 square foot. The roofing system will be eligible for a 20-year no dollar limit water tightness warranty. The existing roof was installed in 2005. Construction on this project is expected to commence on or about October 15, 2022, and shall be substantially completed on or before November 15th of this year. Plans of the projects was posted on the city website, submitted to Master Builders of Iowa for publication with their construction update plan service, and available for pickup in the engineering office. An announcement was published in the Ottumwa Courier notifying the public of the project. Bids were received and opened by the city of Ottumwa on August 24th, 2022 at 2 p.m. 2 bids were received. The low bidder is Foreshore Roofing and Sheet Metal LLC of Des Moines, Iowa, in the amount of $163,953. The engineer's opinion of cost was $175,000, and it'll be coming out of the water pollution control fund balance. And it was budgeted last year.
Larry, what kind of warranty would that new roof have?
20 years.
Does council have any questions for Larry?
Yeah, along those same lines, the last roof, what was the warranty on it?
20 years. This roof system's a little different. It's by our digesters, and because of the methane gas, you can't use open flame install equipment like you'd use for a Duralast roof system when you're doing the actual welding of the seams or the installation of any riser boots. So you have to go to a little bit different system. We'd looked at multiple processes, but that close to the tank, this is the only one that would really be safe.
So if the last one had a 20-year warranty on it, we're replacing it at 17 years. You said 2005 is when it was replaced last?
Oh, I thought you meant the last roof we did that was Duralast.
No,
It had
I'm talking
20.
about this roof. It's, you
I
said
don't know for sure what the original warranty was on the 2005 one. I know a lot of it has a lot of foot traffic. That's one of the things that we want to make sure we educate not only contractors but employees when you're walking around on these roofs. This existing one is more of a rubber with a ballast on it, and there's been a lot of foot traffic on that roof, and that has a tendency to develop holes which become almost impossible to find. The other thing, it's got a lot of different equipment that has been taken out of service or replaced with other units. All those will be removed from the roof. Those create leak points. Most of our problem is against the tanks and the flashing where it joins the concrete structure with the building roofs sections.
So the current roof, it isn't really so much a failure of the roof as we've moved things off of there. And
Well,
Am I hearing that right?
it's a combination. I do think that, have I pictures of people stepping on it? No, but I know there's been a lot of foot traffic around over the years. We're going to install some walk paths and kind of make sure that everybody, doesn't matter if it's communication people or electricians or operators, they need to make sure they stay on the designated walk paths. That's more of an educating of our staff and contractors before. And that's just one possibility. It could have just aged out.
okay, thank you.
Does anybody have any other questions for Larry?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Chris will take the roll.
I need someone to second this.
Second.
I thought we'd already done that.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
Resolution number 228, 2022, accepting for filing an application for voluntary annexation of certain land to the city of Ottumwa, Iowa, setting the date for a public hearing and consultation meeting, and providing for notice of proposed city council action. Recommendation: pass and adopt resolution number 228, 2022.
Zach, I believe you're going to take this.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. An application for voluntary annexation has been received for the property at 1235 Hutchison Avenue. The applicants intend to construct a Dollar General store on that property. This resolution is the first step in processing that application. This is the almost all non-controversial things. This accepts that we received the application. It also sets some meetings for future consideration. The first of those meetings is a consultation meeting to be with the county and the township. That's something that we'll send invitations for after this resolution is passed, and we'll hold that meeting on September 13th at 10 a.m. in this room. It also appoints me, the Community Development Director, to be the city's representative at that meeting. And then it also sets November 1st, 2022 as the date of a public hearing to consider the annexation application. This would be after Plan and Zoning Commission makes a recommendation as well. And because property that is annexed by the city is annexed by default as AG, Agriculture Urban Preserve zoning, there's a parallel process underway where we would consider rezoning the property at future meetings subject to the annexation to C1 in order to facilitate the development. The idea is that all of this would conclude with the third reading of the ordinance and with the public hearing on the annexation all on November 1st.
Does council have any questions for Zach?
This butts up right against other city property, or is there,
So it's contiguous across the street.
so where the nursing home is at?
Right.
Is city, and then.
Yeah,
Right on the corner.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Any other questions for Zach?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second it.
Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
Ordinance number 3204, 2022, an ordinance amending the City of Ottumwa's Fire Protection and Prevention Code by amending Chapter 14 of the City of Ottumwa Municipal Code to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Fire Code. Recommendation pass third consideration and adopt ordinance number 3204, 2022.
I believe Phil's going to take this in Fire Chief Miller's absence.
Yes. So this is the third reading of this consideration. I think if, Chief Miller has reached out if there's any questions about any of this. This is a recommendation of updating our code to be consistent with the 2021 International Fire Code and recommending for approval of the third reading.
Oh, okay. Any questions for Phil? Okay, do we have a recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
Ordinance number 3206, 2022, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 3194, 2022, and establishing supplemental regulations for automobile sales by amending section 38872 of the zoning code of the City of Ottumwa, Wapello County, Iowa. Recommendation pass third consideration and adopt ordinance number 3206, 2022.
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Okay, Zach, I believe you're going to present on this.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is the third and final consideration of an ordinance relating to car dealer lots. Ordinance 3194 earlier this year established a moratorium of up to 1 year on issuing certificates of zoning compliance to allow for a new auto dealer lot to be opened or a extension lot in the City of Ottumwa. This ordinance would repeal that moratorium, and then it would also establish some new supplemental regulations for car lots going forward. Those are detailed in the ordinance. I'll go through them quickly. The ordinance would prohibit car lots within 100 feet of a residential zone without a conditional use permit. Even if it is zoned C2 or C1 or any other zoning category, if it's still within 100 feet of a residential zone, they'd have to obtain a conditional use permit from the Plan and Zoning Commission. The standard for a conditional use permit is something like would not have an adverse impact on the development of the surrounding community. That will help to create a buffer between residential areas and these businesses, which is one of the issues that was identified by the council as the reason for the moratorium. This ordinance is also going to crack down on issues with outdoor storage around car lots. Storage of vehicles that are not for sale, body damaged, or inoperable in the display area would be prohibited. Also, all auto parts, damaged vehicles, and service vehicles would have to be stored completely screened from residential areas and public right-of-ways or rights-of-way. And then because of this is a zoning ordinance, the existing businesses near residential areas would be grandfathered to protect and sort of protected as existing non-conforming. But if they do cease operation for a period of time, they would lose that protection and they'd have to seek a conditional use permit to be used in that way. And then a lot of these other issues, illegal storage, those sorts of things, we did discuss how that would be handled going forward on existing lots. And thankfully, it's a little bit less permissive as the general use with these existing lots. If there's somebody who's doing outdoor storage now that would be illegal in the future, the vehicle that's stored where it is now can stay for a while. That's protected, but going forward, they would have to stop that with future vehicles. They wouldn't be able to store that way, even if they're doing that now. So that will give us some stronger enforcement with the new lots and the ones that have been problems going forward.
And isn't that time frame a year? If they don't?
Yeah, if they cease operation for
Right.
a year, that's usually how we've done it. Yep.
Okay. Does council have any questions for Zach?
I do have one for you. So what if they own a car lot and they like sell it to their kid or something like that? Is there anything in the ordinances for that? Do we change any of that?
So that is, if it were in a zone that's zoned commercial or industrial, and it's not within 100 feet of a residential zone, that would not be affected at all. Also, if they don't stop that use between selling it in the family, they just continue using it, that wouldn't be affected. If they sold to somebody who wasn't in the family, but that use never stopped, that wouldn't be affected. Where the issue would come up is if they shut down for a year, shut down for a couple years, and then go to try to sell it, the new buyer would have to get a conditional use permit.
So a change in ownership doesn't really have any direct bearing on it.
No, the zoning code is, for the most part, really focused just on use. We don't care which business or which person is doing that use. We're really just regulating the land use itself. And so that's how that sort of grandfathering type scenario happens.
Does council have any other questions for Zach? If not, Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
Ordinance number 3208, 2022, proposed ordinance amending Chapter 2, Article 6, Division 5, Public Safety Advisory Committee of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Ottumwa. Recommendation pass third consideration and adopt ordinance number 3208, 2022.
Is there a motion to approve the recommendation?
Move the recommendation is presented.
Second. I believe Phil's going to present on this.
Yeah, so this is updating changes to the Public Safety Advisory Committee. It's currently in our code saying that this group would meet on a monthly basis. For whatever reason, they hadn't been meeting actively. We're looking to change that from monthly to quarterly or as needed. So if needed, if monthly meetings were still needed for some reason, they could still be. But to at least meet minimum requirements, changing that to a quarterly basis. The first and second reading have been passed, and this would be the third and final reading. Looking to have that approved.
Any questions for Phil?
If we pass this tonight, how soon do we start? Are you going to reconvene these people?
Yeah, so in October, there are a few people that are up. So at the next meeting, I'd look to maybe talk with the mayor about either reappointing or, well, one, filling the vacancy that currently exists. If we have candidates that are interested, identifying if people are interested in continuing their service and getting those appointments made at the next meeting. And then at the, in October, that would be that first quarterly meeting, kind of reestablish that, and then every quarter after that.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
This is the time in our city council meeting where I'll ask if the public has any other items that are not on the agenda tonight that they would like to speak to. And I believe we have Larry Williams here who would like to speak. So Mr. Williams, I'll have you come up to the microphone and please state your name and your address and the topic that you'd like to briefly discuss. You'll have 3 minutes.
Yeah, my name is Larry Williams. I live at 1933 Greenwood Drive. I'd like to see some of these regulations on the ATVs, UTVs, so they can be street legal not only in the winter time, but year round. I mean, you know, they're safe. They're much safer than these scooters you got here in town. You've got to have a regular license. You should have insurance on them, you know. So I think you'd ought to consider, you know, on your bylaws or whatever, that these things should be allowed on city streets. And I don't have about 3 minutes worth. I mean, you know, that's all the complaining really I got, but.
Well, we appreciate your comments and I'm sure the council is going to be taking this under advisement and it'll come up again at a future date.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Is there any other business? We have no petitions or communications that I'm aware of unless the council has anything they'd like to communicate to the public.
The Viva International Festival is September 11th.
At Quincy Place Mall.
Yes, at Quincy Place Mall. You probably know more about it than I do, but just a reminder, it's out there.
Any other communications that the council wants to bring up? If not, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Rowe,
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Yes.
Councilmember Hull.
Yes.
We are adjourned and thank you, everybody. We got done in a half an hour tonight, so
I don't know, maybe. I'll have to go back and
appreciate everybody for coming. Have a good evening.